finding hidden treasures, traveling to Tampa Bay's diverse communities and neighborhoods, discovering the sights, sounds, and taste of the region, experiencing history and culture. I'm your host, Serena Fazan, and we are Unlocking Tampa Bay.
Hi everyone, I'm Serena Fazan, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I'm here with the president and CEO of Visit Tampa Bay, Santiago Carrata. Santiago, there is so much going on. I don't know where to begin.
It seems like every time we open the show, it's only been a month, and there's so much that's gone on.
But this is
really
so exciting. I mean, you just got back from Brazil.
Yeah, Visit Florida hosted a leadership sales mission to Sao Paulo, Brazil. As you know, we're the largest cities in the world. And we were very, very fortunate to go with 2 other destinations and really speak about, how different we are and how we can't wait for Brazilian travelers to come back to Florida, and specifically for us, to Tampa, Hillsborough County. And so we had trade publications, newspapers, travel agents, tour operators, airlines, all to ourselves for a couple of days. And the one thing we learned is that the Brazilians can't wait to travel again. They've had, some lockdowns because of COVID, obviously, and they cannot wait to return to their favorite U.S. destination, which happens to be Florida. They love coming to Florida. They feel very at home. And so we were very, very excited to be there with 2 other Florida destinations and Visit Florida, getting our fair share of attention for Tampa Bay.
All right, I have to say deservedly so. It was National Tourism Week, of course, also.
Wow.
We are #1. We are breaking records. So continuing the conversation about Brazil.
Yeah.
Please talk about that and why Tampa Bay is more important than ever.
Well, we obviously celebrated National Travel and Tourism Week, and we had so many great events. We opened with our Tee Off for Tourism golf tournament. And that's an event that we co-host with the Hillsborough County Hotel Motel Association to raise dollars for scholarships for young people that want to come into our industry. So a feel-good event during National Travel and Tourism Week. We lit up most of our iconic buildings and attractions in red, which is the color for National Travel Tourism Week. We had a great luncheon. I believe you were there.
Yes, absolutely. I would have missed that luncheon for the world. Are you kidding? It was awesome.
Where we announced these great numbers, which I'll chat about. And then last year we started this friendly competition between Visit Tampa Bay and Visit St. Pete Clearwater called the Pineapple Cup competition. And last year we went over to St. Pete and we got beat up in shuffleboard. So this year we hosted them in Ybor City for bocce ball. And I'm not going to say we beat them up, but we won this year. So the Pineapple Cup has now gone back and forth. So it would have been rough. It would have been 2 years in a row. We may never see this Pineapple Cup. So it was really nice. Our entire team was there. And again, it was in honor of National Travel and Tourism Week. And yes, at the luncheon, we announced some pretty spectacular numbers. And just to put it in perspective, because, most people really don't understand, there's a benchmark in the state of Florida that if you hit $600 million in hotel revenue in a year, you're designated a high-impact tourism destination.
Wow.
In a year, 12 months, $600 million.
Okay.
First 3 months of this calendar year, January, February, March, we're over $301 million already.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
We had set a goal, a few years ago before the pandemic that we would hit $1 billion by 2025. Well, if you look at what we've done January, February, March, and what's left of this calendar year, we may be very close to $1 billion in 2022, not 2025. And so, when we talk about that, people say, oh, okay, yeah, so what? I don't go to a hotel, I don't stay in a hotel. But we know that when we have visitors come to town, only a small percentage, 30% of their spending is actually lodging or a hotel. The other 70% is spent on food and beverage, our restaurants, retail, shopping, entertainment, the attractions. So just 30% comes back to help us to continue to market and sell the destination. The other 70% is invested in our community, which means more restaurants, more attractions, more retail, And not just visitors enjoy those, we do too, because we love, as you'll show in your show today, we love going out to restaurants in our great communities. So it's a win-win. You know, tourism is really a win-win because of the dollars that are invested here by visitors. And we've said this before, it's a fact that because of tourism, we don't have an income tax in the state of Florida. So when you or I or any of our viewers look at their paycheck, if they get a paycheck and they don't see an income tax on there, which means more money in their pocketbook, we really have to thank tourism and those visitors that come here and share our home with us for a short period of time.
No, absolutely. I mean, I want to get back to the food, of course. But speaking of, that's why we see so many athletes here because
Is it because of the food?
It's because of the food.
I don't know if the athletes are coming here because of the food. I think they're coming here because they want to be a part of winning teams because we have these great. But food doesn't hurt, right? You know, if you can live in a community where you get to be a part of a winning team and then also go out and get some good food, I guess that's a win-win for the athletes too.
Absolutely. Well, I just mentioned the athletes because once again, we're on fire.
You know, the Lightning doing phenomenal work this season. You know, another strong season. They're the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, so three-peat is within their sights. The Rays have started out on fire. You know, again, one of the best teams in baseball. And then, you know, we're all eagerly awaiting this year's edition of the Buccaneers. Because we know that Mr. Brady's back, and most of our players have re-signed with the team, and they've added, you know, some additional new players. So really can't wait. We've already got a game announced in Germany, I believe in November.
Where you're headed, I would imagine.
So we will be headed to Germany with our team because Germany is one of our top international markets. We have a lot of German visitation. So we are going to take advantage of that opportunity to be there with the Buccaneers and highlight all the great things to do here. And talking about highlighting this show, you're getting out into another one of our great communities, you know, Seminole Heights, right a little bit north of downtown, and the great work that's gone on in Seminole Heights, especially on the culinary side. You're going to visit with our good friend Ferrell Alvarez with Rooster the Till, and you know, when we started seeing this evolution of the culinary scene, Ferrell was on the front end, and you know, that has continued to roll. He's got a restaurant over in Sparkman Wharf. We have a new partner out there, Flo Cal, Nebraska Mini Mart, so many new restaurants that are popping up all over town, and that's great because, as you know, here in about a month, Michelin will be announcing possibly some star-rated Michelin restaurants in Tampa. And so we're very, very excited about that announcement. That'll be coming up here in June.
Well, so hold on to that thought because we will now take you to the Rooster and the Till to talk to the
so
chef.
Jealous, yeah.
I know.
Ferrell's food is very good, so I'm very jealous.
It's fantastic, everybody. Take a look. So here we are in Seminole Heights at the Rooster and Till with award-winning chef Ferrell Alvarez. Man, chef, with a name like that, of course you're award-winning.
Thank you so much. I don't know about this, but you know, I'll take it.
No, you're so humble. Listen, this restaurant is so beautiful. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Rooster and Till has been around for almost 9 years now. December of this year will be our 9-year anniversary. It's truly a labor of love. We started off very small, where we built things with our own bare hands. We were 32 seats, and we have now grown into 72 seats. We've doubled our square footage. It's a passion project from a culinary perspective, where we do everything that we want to do, whatever we're feeling in the moment, cuisine-wise. We do a very boutique wine program, and we just recently purchased a liquor license, so we're getting ready to roll out a brand new cocktail program as well.
Wow, congratulations. So I want to get more in depth about all of that. But first, let's go back to you a little bit. Tell us about yourself. And really, you were one of the first restaurants that opened here in Seminole Heights.
Yeah, there was a couple people pioneering before us, Ella's, The Refinery, Independent. Those are all of our friends, and they kind of paved the way a little bit. But I think we were the first ones to bring more progressive, more focused cuisine to the area. So I think that was a big leap for us back then. And quite frankly, the reason why I landed here is because I didn't have too much money and I could afford the rent.
Wow, you are really?
Yeah.
And now, okay, speaking of that, take a look at that, because right now,
Yeah.
we were just recently, the Tampa Bay area voted number 3 in the country to visit. So what does that say about Tampa and the culinary scene?
It proves our growth, you know. I think that it also proves that real estate is going through the roof. We literally get cards from people around here, you know, thanking us for increasing property value. And we also get some, I think, opinions that maybe contradict that as well. But nonetheless, you know, we're super proud of what we've done for the community in conjunction with the community. We've had the opportunity to come in at an early stage and watch everything grow around us. The culinary scene is growing tremendously, and I think that our future looks very bright.
You know, Chef, I do want to go back to what you said when you said you chose to be here initially. Quite frankly, you said because the rent was cheaper. Now, though, how does Seminole Heights compare to some of the other areas in Tampa? We're seeing so much growth everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, 5 years ago, I was looking to purchase more real estate, and my wife and I had to look out of this area because we were outpriced, you know. So it's grown tremendously. There's a great amount of value here, as is all of Tampa Bay. You know, the growth has been exponential, somewhat too fast in certain things. You know, the pandemic pushed us into a little bit of a bubble, but nonetheless, it's provided us with great opportunity. It's provided me opportunity for my family to grow. As a young businessman 9 years ago, I didn't have much operating capital, so I was able to get in early. And now I provide, you know, a job. Me and my partners provide jobs and careers for 63 employees within our restaurant group.
And okay, and I'm glad you mentioned restaurant group, and we're talking about different areas because this was, of course, the first restaurant.
Yeah.
This beautiful, gorgeous place. But talk about your other ones.
Yeah, so we've been fortunate now to expand. We have 5 concepts. Well, we have 4 concepts, 5 locations. We have Gallito Taqueria, which is located in Sparkman's Wharf, as well as Lakeland in the Joinery, a modern food hall. Recently, we just opened up Dang Dude, also in Sparkman's Wharf, which is an Asian street food concept. And the second concept that we opened after Rooster the Till, that was our largest growth, that we went from 1 to 2, was Nebraska Mini Mart. So that's literally on Nebraska Avenue on the corner of Nebraska and Osborne, and that's an 1.5 acres of outdoor activities with shuffleboard, bocce ball, live music. We do monthly markets with local vendors, and we pivoted during the pandemic, and we've created a fried chicken and burger spot, and we were very fortunate to win #1 burger by Creative Loafing last year, Best of the Bay. So it's a really, really, really fun concept. So Proper House Restaurant Group is our restaurant group, and those are our 5 concepts.
Gosh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything. Okay, speaking of restaurants and restaurant groups, what about restaurants in the area, including yours, that we had being considered for the Michelin Award?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, how significant is that?
It's very significant in the sense where, you know, everybody would love to be recognized. It's also significant in the sense where there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings if you don't earn the star. But you know, it's awards, right? So we as a restaurant group try to approach awards where we would love to obtain them. We understand the value in them. If you get a Michelin star, your revenue game is instantly changed in a positive way. In 2017, we were fortunate enough to get a James Beard nomination, and we instantly saw the uptick with that. I think Michelin brings even a little bit more power in that regard.
So interesting. I mean, honestly, I was like, wow, with the James Beard Award instantly.
Instantly, yeah. No exaggeration. Including in that evening, it was a Thursday. It was a Wednesday or Thursday, and Ray Roa, who's now the editor-in-chief at Creative Loafing, was essentially doing our social media back then. And this is 8 years ago. I'm sorry, maybe 6 years ago. So he called me and told me, and I didn't even know. And I was literally in the kitchen prepping, and we were ecstatic, and we celebrated for a moment, and then we got back to prepping, and we opened up for dinner service 2 hours later, and we've kept it going ever since. But yeah, the notion of winning a star, even being recognized, is amazing. The pressure that comes with it is also amazing. You know, my phone has been ringing off the hook, and I've been getting emails and get to speak with amazing people like you for that reason.
Thank you.
But we're staying positive, we're staying hopeful, but we don't open up every day and serve food and beverage and provide hospitality to our folks simply to win awards. We want it to be a byproduct of what we do, hoping that we do it well, and that's the way it's perceived. But to say that we don't want it would be a lie. To say that we think we deserve it would also be a lie. You know, there's many great people around, so we just hope to be in good company.
Listen, you know, it's so great about the award, but you guys are already an award-winning restaurant. I just want to say that, and that was so kind what you just said. The Michelin Award, though, Santiago and I were just speaking just a little bit ago. He was sharing, like people come to towns, right, for sports teams, and they come to towns for beaches, so on, and they also come to town because of Michelin Award restaurants.
Yeah.
So what does that say? How do you see the culinary scene here growing? Wouldn't all the restaurants benefit, no matter who gets the award?
Yeah, I think so, right? Like that's the synergy notion, or why McDonald's builds across the street from Burger King. I think that there's always a spillover effect. We welcome that as well. I feel that tourism, Michelin does provide people an opportunity to go places simply because they use it as a destination. Quite frankly, last weekend I was in DC and I did the same thing.
Wow.
I ate at Gravitas and I ate at Albi, which are 1 Michelin. Tomorrow I fly to Chicago and I'm eating at El Ideas on Sunday, which is 1 Michelin, and I'm eating at Boca with Lee Wolin on Friday, which is 1 Michelin. So yeah, you go to those places because it kind of weeds out the BS, and you're getting quality right off the jump. That being said, everybody around you that maybe didn't get that award is going to benefit, and I think that's going to help our state tremendously.
Okay, Chef, so how would you describe the Tampa Bay cuisine?
Tampa Bay cuisine to me is a melting pot, quite frankly. Everybody knows about the Cuban sandwich, and I think it's significantly better than Miami. No disrespect, Miami, but we got better bread. So I think it's a melting pot. We have everything from one of the top steakhouses in the United States with Burns to very progressive restaurants like Koya, Roca, and ourselves at Rooster. We have low-key Colombian spots, Puerto Rican spots. We have Italian spots. We are truly a melting pot. I think that's also seen in our people and our diversity within our demographic in the city as well.
So, of course, when people come to visit Tampa Bay, of course they have to come here to the Rooster and Till, but where else would you encourage them to go?
From a high-end scene, I think Burns is a must. To drink wine that Burns offers is a rarity in the world, quite frankly. Their cellar is so deep, and if you talk to Assam and you dig down deep into their cellar, you are going to try something that you probably will never be able to try again in your life.
And in your life, wow.
Literally in your life.
Yeah.
They have things that nobody else has, and when it's gone, and they're not producing more from the 60s and even before that. I think Koya does an amazing job of doing an omakase style menu. It's the only place like that in Tampa where it's tasting only. They sell out a month in advance, so that's stellar. Roca does an amazing job. Rooster is definitely a must.
Of course,
Yep. And
definitely.
Sparkman is great for more outdoor activity, especially for families. I see a big draw to the beer garden, to Splitsville, to the open air, to the river, in proximity to the river walk, and making your way all the way up to Armature Works as well, getting some more low-key things like that.
So you talked about experiencing these other restaurants in other cities and states. What about here locally? What are some of your favorite restaurants?
Yeah, so I try to eat everywhere independently in Tampa and share the wealth, but I do have a lot of favorites. I go to Burns quite often. I go to Haven quite often. I like to go to Roca often. I eat at a lot of little Colombian restaurants a lot. I live in Temple Terrace, so there's a lot of little small like Petra and Korean restaurants, Hot Pot. I eat at things like that, a little bit more lowbrow things. I think places like Koya, Noble Rice, those are places that are going to probably get recognition for Michelin in our city.
So let me ask you this though, okay, what draws you to your favorite places?
Typically when I travel, I have a lot of friends, in the United States, so I tend to visit them and eat at their restaurants. I do have quite a few friends with stars as well, but I think
in Tampa, what draws you?
In Tampa?
Yeah, in Tampa, what draws you? Like,
if some of the younger kids are doing new creative things,
Yeah.
Bryce at Roca, he's hungry right now for things, so he's always changing the menu. So we frequent there rather often to see what's going on the top portion of his menu with the small plates where he's rotating different vegetables that we really enjoy eating. I think new creative things bring me into it. Wine programs bring me into it because I do appreciate really good wine as well. Good energy and vibe and ambiance. When I go out, I don't go to late night bars anymore, even clubs or anything like that. So my entertainment is going out to eat with my wife and my friends. So when I choose a restaurant, I choose something that's going to make me feel alive, where I feel upbeat. I like noise. I think when you dine at Rooster, you kind of get that vibe as well. It's a true representation of me and my partners and our team. We like things to be loud and bustling and energetic and city feeling, if you will.
So let's get back to this restaurant, in fact. Tell us more about that concept. It was so interesting what you were talking about. So there's only two real set items on the menu.
Yeah, there's two items now that we consider our classics. That's going to be the gnocchi and the cobia collar. Those are two items that we probably will never take off the menu now because I think Tampa might revolt. But basically after that, everything is subject to change based on what Chef Brian, Chef Suze, and myself are feeling in the moment. Seasonality and produce kind of help us change things. We just did a release yesterday of 5 new items on the menu. So that's almost 20-25% of our menu because our menu is rather small, condensed, and focused. We try to keep it diverse from a protein perspective where there's vegetarian things, there's seafood things, and then there's also meaty protein. So we try to keep that in mind when we're developing dishes. But it's really a matter of what we are really feeling passionate about in the moment from a technique perspective, from what's a trend perspective, what's going on in our culinary world as trends, and then things that we just want to do and eat, and also what we think the customer is going to really engage in and really be excited about.
I love that concept though because it's so different and unique.
Yeah, it's ever-changing.
Right, it's ever-changing. Now, you glazed over the question, but I don't forget these things. Tell us more about you though. Like, how did you get your start?
Yeah.
Have you always been passionate about food?
Yeah, very much so. I come from an Italian and Colombian family in my background. I was always cooking with my mother and my grandmother in the kitchen as a young boy before I was a teenager. As a teenager, I started washing dishes full-time at age 15, and I've never stopped working full-time ever since. And so this is the only industry I've ever worked in my entire life. I don't know, maybe I have 28, 29 years now invested. I'm pretty much a Tampa boy through and through. Although I was born in Baltimore, I did do high school and culinary school in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. And then I moved back quite quickly after graduating culinary school. I worked around Tampa and the local area for a while. My biggest mentor and my longest stint was at Mise en Place, where I started as a sauté cook and then worked my way up to chef de cuisine. And I was there for 7.5 years with Marty Blitz. There also I hired a sous chef who is now our executive chef at Rooster, Brian Lampy. He's been with me throughout my entire career from the moment I hired him until now as well. So that's almost 15 years. I met my general manager there, which is Ty Rodriguez. He has been my business partner and my best friend for about 20 years. So Mise en Place was really
like a glue almost,
yeah, it really
right?
was. Marianne and Marty, they're still big brother, big sister to us. I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. I always will, and that shaped me the most out of my career to become the chef that I am now. But also, I'm pretty relentless on my continuing education in myself, and I'm always traveling, I'm always eating, I'm always reading, and I try to never give up or take the easy route. I try to always push. Now opening up several restaurants, it's a different type of push, but we're learning and growing, and we embrace it. But yeah, that's the really quick snapshot of my career. I've just kept my nose on the grind. I just work hard and keep my head down and try to network, meet great people, and make good connections and hustle.
So in your future, are there more concepts and restaurants opening?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not stopping. We have 4 things right now in the hopper.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. We are making a rather large announcement probably within the next month, so that'll be really great to put out into the press. We have 3 other opportunities. 2 are going to be fast casual. 1 will be a little bit larger than that. So in the next 2 years, we should be opening up at minimum 4 more concepts. And we don't see us stopping. We continue growth. We just made a new hire recently for Director of Culinary Operations for our fast casual sector.
Wow, congratulations.
So we intend to grow, thank you very much, to grow our fast casual department. So I'm 43. I want to work as hard as I can until I'm 50, and then at 50 reassess and work because I want to, not because I have to. That's the ultimate goal. Things don't necessarily shake out on timelines, but those are my personal goals.
Well, thank you so much for sharing those personal goals, and thank you so much also about talking about all of this and seeing Tampa growing in tourism. Because before we get back to Santiago, the last question, with all your new concepts opening, with all these other concepts opening, where do you see Tampa in 5 years?
I see Tampa in 5 years becoming a major player in the culinary scene and tourism. Tourism already in Tampa is great. We have amazing weather. We have the great proximity to the beaches. We have an amazing sports city. We have a city that's growing downtown tremendously with the SPP Cascade project. So I see Tampa in 5 years getting into its stride even more so. I think it's going to be taken more seriously. I see it becoming even more expensive, but I also see opportunity and growth in a tremendous way, and I just can't wait to be a part of it.
Chef Alvarez, what a treat
Thank you
to
so
talk
much.
to you. Thank you
Likewise.
so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Santiago, what a treat. And you know, you've known me for a long time from my traditional news days. I have put it on the record that I live to eat.
It doesn't show. I don't know where it goes. You must work it all out.
I try to. But speaking of that, great restaurant, and
he's been such a great partner. You know, we've done food sales missions where we've actually gone to different cities to show off the best of Tampa, the best chefs, the best restaurants, and he's gone on a number of these with us. I can remember being down in Miami where we did a food event for the Miami press and the Miami media, and he was there with us, and has really been, you know, an advocate for tourism, understands the value of tourism, what it does for our restaurant community. So just phenomenal job and just so talented. So, you know, talking about talent, right? We mentioned Michelin. In the front part of our show.
Is that?
Well, you know, it is, and only 3 cities in Florida being looked at right now to have Michelin star rated restaurants or to be a part of one of their guides, and we're so fortunate to have so many talented chefs that are really artists, right? And these great dining environments that really are engaging and beautiful and so different. And so throughout all of our communities in Hillsborough County, which is really, really cool. You know, when you can go to Plant City or Temple Terrace or downtown Tampa or Seminole Heights or North Tampa or, you know, West Tampa, East Tampa, I know I'm gonna miss somebody, and you can find these incredible restaurants that are maybe not well known, but the food is phenomenal. I think it speaks loudly about what we've become here as far as the culinary scene.
You know, could you explain to people Michelin, for those people who may not know the process, and that having that rating does drive tourism into your city?
You know, it's a rigorous process. They go out and put stars on the best restaurants in the world. So they're out there, they go out through this process, they visit these restaurants. And, you know, I'm not an expert on their evaluation system or their criteria, but it's everything, right? From the artistry of the food to the quality, to the talent on staff, to the ambiance, to the service, to the price. I mean, so many variables involved when they put a star on a Michelin star-rated restaurant. And on top of that, you know, they have other guides where you can get, you know, this quality meal for a reasonable price. And so to be a part of anything Michelin is big, because just like there are NFL fans or NHL fans, there are Michelin fans, and they will go to destinations to eat at these restaurants. And
Wow.
so, you know, another feather in our cap, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, hopefully will be announced here shortly, and we will have people visiting our state to dine at those restaurants that are Michelin recognized. So very, very excited about that.
See, well, you are an expert in tourism, though, and so no, that explains it. When you said that, people will come
Yes.
specifically to go to that restaurant, and of course, if they experience that restaurant, they're experiencing so much of our city and other
That's right.
restaurants. Everybody's going to benefit.
Well, as you know, that economy spreads, so they're just not going to come to eat at that restaurant.
Right.
They're going to come and stay in a hotel. They might go to a show at the Straz or at the Tampa Theater, go to Busch Gardens, take in the Art Museum, History Museum. You just don't know. And so the restaurant piece is a small piece of a bigger puzzle that is all tourism and that economy. So super excited that, you know, again, Tampa's on another list of great things. You know, we keep adding our name to great lists, and this is another one.
You know, speaking of great things in the list, we have a lot of big things right now, too, continuing to talk about big things,
Yeah.
with the Addition opening.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing what has happened here and what continues to happen here. You know, we just had, you know, an incredible spring break. We talked about the $301 million in hotel revenue. And we know that April's been super strong. May has started out very, very strong. But yet we have all these incredible things that are still to come. And the Marriott Edition, one of the highest rated Marriott properties, will be opening here hopefully in the summer, and adding 7 restaurant concepts. So if you can imagine what we've already talked about, and you went out and had some food out at Rooster the Till, more restaurants in our urban core, more restaurants in the Channel District, and this fabulous hotel. And just today I was driving in and I was noticing how the Tampa skyline continues to expand. And Water Street, with its dozen or so buildings, has really stretched the Tampa skyline. And so super excited. We're getting ready to participate, talking about things that are coming up at IPW, which is the biggest travel show in the country. And we're very, very fortunate that it's over with our friends in Orlando here in a few months. And we get to not only welcome the world to the U.S., because it welcomes the world to the U.S., we get to welcome the world to the U.S., to Florida, and we're going to have some of them come and visit with us while they're in Orlando. So we get to be a part of a bigger welcome mat, because we're not just bringing them to the U.S., bringing them to Florida, and then we're bringing them to Tampa when they're done over at Orlando. So super exciting. And the summer looks very, very promising. Big conventions, big groups, meetings are coming back. As I mentioned, the Brazilians are getting ready to travel. We've seen our Canadian friends starting to come back, our English friends, our German friends. So, the tourism environment continues to be very strong, very healthy, and it's not happening everywhere. Tampa, Hillsborough County is really leading the country as far as hotel occupancy and hotel revenues and visitation, along with some of our friends throughout the state.
It's always so great to see you.
Always good to see you.
It's wonderful to talk about Tampa Bay.
It is great to talk about Tampa Bay.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay.
To learn more about Visit Tampa Bay and the adventures that await you, visit www.visittampabay.com or follow @Visit Tampa Bay on social media.